with 29 schools located in 17 communities. We also, with great pleasure, have extended our reach to include 200 area communities for the first time. The division is located in East Central Saskatchewan and encompasses roughly 23,000 square kilometers. It spans the area down to Esterhazy in the south, Priestville in the north, Calder to the east, and Springside to the west. So just a picture of where we are in the province, which you likely all already know. Our philosophical foundations are built around our mission statement of building strong foundations to create bright futures. Our vision statement, which we challenge ourselves with often, learning without limits, achievement for all. What does that mean? Values of belonging, respect, responsibility, learning, and nurturing. And lastly, some aspirational statements or aspirational goals, focusing in around student learning and well-being, equitable and balanced opportunities, accountability for all, people engagement, and sustainable infrastructure. You'll know that our division is governed by an 11-person board. As per the Education Act, the division is organized into 9 subdivisions for the purpose of elections. But once elected, our trustees serve the entire school division and all 6,200 kids. We just had an election, which you've been aware of, and we had several of our board members that were elected. Jamie Johnson, Subdivision 1, elected. Subdivision 2, Chris Bliski, acclaimed. Subdivision 3, Shannon Leeson, acclaimed. Subdivision 4, Florence Tuchura, elected. Florence had intended on being here today, but she's ill. Lois Smanish, Subdivision number 5, our board chair, acclaimed. Mr. Simpson, Subdivision 6. He's Mr. Simpson because he was my phys ed teacher when I was in high school, so it's weird. Just saying. He was elected. Subdivision 7, Jade Anderson, acclaimed. Yorkton at Large, Cord Ginder, elected. Interestingly enough, board also serves on the appointed health board. Ms. Jan Morrison, for Yorkton, elected. Steve Ryan, Yorkton, elected. And Gilda DiCucci for our First Nations Subdivision 8, acclaimed. I'm going to turn over to Lois if she's got a word or two, and then we'll start with our presentation. Thanks.
First of all, he never called me Mrs. Smanish, so I'll pick that up with him later. Again, just thank you for the opportunity. When we start to tell our stories, it will become very evident that Good Spirit School Division is very proud of who we are, and we base all that on relationships. Everything that we have done, we have based it on relationships, and as the stories get told, you'll get a clearer understanding of that. And our greatest strength in Good Spirit School Division has always been our people. So,
nicely said. Thanks, Lois. Turn over to Rod. He's going to start the show by talking to us about the Good Spirit in School Administrator perspective. He's led through amalgamations and changes. Rod's a dynamic leader and we'll want to tell the story.
Thanks, Whitten. My name is Rod Stashik. I began my education career in 1990, working for the Northern Lights School Division at Descharmes Elementary School in La Loche. After 5 years, the last 3 as vice principal, my wife and I decided to return to the area we considered as home. And I was fortunate enough to be offered the opportunity to work with Sturgis School Division as the principal at Endeavour School. In 1997, I moved within the division to Kenora Junior Elementary School and have been the principal there ever since. The first 10 years back home saw a great deal of amalgamations. We went from Sturgis School Division to Kenora School Division to Timberline School Division to Crystal Lake School Division to Eastland Lake School Division to Good Spirit School Division. As you can see, I've done very little moving around during my career, yet I've taught in many school divisions. In order for a school to be truly successful, it's critical to have a school community that feels they are heard at the board level. And it's critical to have a central office staff that knows the school and the staff and students in it. Every time we amalgamated and got bigger, less and less local representation on the Board of Education was evident. Every time we amalgamated, central office got further away. Will the next round of amalgamations be that breaking point where we're too far removed from both critical needs for school success? At this point, central office is close enough that face-to-face admin meetings are still a possibility. We can still phone someone in Yorkton that isn't just a name, but we're able to put a face to that name. The director can come into our school and know the names of the staff, and our superintendent knows a large number of our students by name. The students sure know our superintendent's name. Our elected board member knows all of our staff and is very visible in our town. The community that it takes to raise a child is still there, right from the top. Today, Kenora Junior Elementary School is a pre-K to 4 school with 214 students. It was originally built for roughly 150 students, and as enrollments were going up quickly in 2011 and 2012, the room in our building was at a premium. Our school was way over capacity, and everyone was crammed. 2 teachers taught 40 grade 4 students out of 1 class, and outside agencies had no office space to meet with students, parents, or staff. Hallways were used as learning areas. We were lucky to have a great deal of local knowledge about the need for room in our building, as people at central office and at the board level stayed informed as to how we were doing with the little space. They also knew the community was growing, and that by simply moving a portable over from another school would not be enough to meet the needs in the very near future. Our elected board members were able to work with central office and local government, and in 2013, we had a grand opening to welcome 3 beautiful classrooms that were constructed on site as additions to our school. One of those classrooms was divided up into 5 different offices. What a huge difference this made for the education of students at Kenora Junior Elementary School. Our board member currently attends all of our school community council meetings and is actively involved with helping our school be a better place. Our SEC recently took on the project of tying all of our our learning improvement goal plans together, literacy, nutrition, and student well-being, by developing a garden right on our playground. The timeline was tight, but with central office support and our elected board member physically bringing in his little track hoe so we didn't have to use shovels in such a small area, a huge amount of dirt filled the planters in a short time, and by June 2015, every student was able to get their hands dirty and plant items that were harvested this fall for a borscht and pierogi supper that will be served at the school in March. A kitchen was also recently added to our school, another project that came about by those close to our school having a local perspective and seeing the need for a breakfast and snack program, as well as an after-school cooking club. Our SEC recently took a huge project on involving 4 sections of new swings, 4 swings per section, picnic tables, a large play structure with all the fun stuff, tire swings, and a buddy bench. Our Board of Education was able to supply an interest-free loan payable over the next 5 years to our SEC, making this a $130,000 project possible. Our students are currently enjoying this new equipment, even though they're still approximately $30,000 owing. Our superintendent and our elected board member get involved with as many special functions as possible. Sometimes this means putting on an apron and greeting parents and students and staff as they cook at a Grandparents' Day literacy luncheon or a St. Patrick's Day pancake breakfast. I've even known them to participate on a dunk tank at our play day with their suits on, to the delight of everyone. I might go a minute over. They have built genuine relationships with the school community. Our most recent Tell Them For Me data indicates that 96% of grade 4s are interested and motivated. 89% felt a high sense of belonging. 86% have positive relationships. And 100% believe that education will benefit them personally and economically and will have a strong bearing on their future. There's something currently working with the parent, student, teacher, elected board member, and visible central office dynamic. High levels of learning are also critical to the success of a school. Whenever an amalgamation takes place, there's inevitably a lot of conversation at the senior administrative level regarding business items relating to amalgamation. Depending on how large scale the amalgamation is, student achievement eventually comes to the forefront. The question is, how long will this take? Schools using different practices from varying legacy divisions would now be in the same division or region. They must now come together with a unified approach to meet the education sector goals. Which approach is the better practice? What resources do we need to use to get this better practice? How much time will it take to get teachers that haven't used this better practice trained? Many conversations need to take place before there is a strategic stage even set for real learning. Using literacy as an example, Good Spirit School Division currently has a system approach as to how and when students are tested on reading. The division has built capacity for teachers and RTI teams to analyze data and make decisions to close gaps. Good Spirit School Division uses a tool called Fontes and Pinella to do this testing, and all elementary teachers are trained to use it. Other testing tools are used for literacy in the province. How long would it take to train our teachers to use someone else's, or teachers using something else to learn F&P? This is just a very small example of the huge decisions around student achievement that need to happen before schools pick right back up where they left off. Where would Kenora Junior Elementary School be leaving off? Using the GSSD literacy and intervention guidelines, and with some freedom for making some things work locally, depending on individual school needs, we are happy to share that our fall 2016 testing period, 91% of our grade 3 students are reading at or above grade level. 52% of those students are reading at the exceeding grade level gradients. We have 44 grade 3 students. I want to thank you for your time today and for considering the positive impact of local elected representation on the board, the need to continue our work with the education sector strategic plan without disruptions, and for a central office that builds relationships with the staff, parents, and students. Thank you.
Nicely done, Roger. 7 minutes and 55 seconds.
Okay. 55 seconds over.
Golden star.
Never give an educator a microphone.
So our next, and please interrupt the flow as you see fit. The next story we'd like to tell is coming to us from two folks not directly connected to our school division. Honorable, how do you say it? His Worship, Mr. Fogg and Michelle Andrews, both absolutely vital partners in our Langenberg project. We're proud of the work that they've done and the future that we'll build together in that vibrant community. So I'll turn it over to them.
Thank you. As a community, we look at our schools as the foundation for our youth to receive their education. And in Langenberg, we continue to try and maintain our aging facilities. And it became very clear that they were past the point of repair, and a new request was made for a new pre-K and grade 12 facility. This request was major, and we knew it was something our community would need to get involved in. The Langenberg Central School project is one that will be a part of our community's history, and we were honored to have the opportunity to be a part of it. The day the announcement was made was when our community would be receiving the new facility is one we will never forget. A new build is exciting no matter where it's located, but the partnerships, bond, and relationships that were created along this were absolutely amazing. Planning began very quickly with the local school division, central office, and the staff, and began to engage the community. And motions were put in place to begin this engagement. Our community was invited to an open public meeting that filled the local school gymnasium. Attendance included a mixture of the local school board, central office staff, architects, staff, students, and our community members. This provided opportunity to discuss the project and provide input for our future. After this meeting, a diverse committee was formed, and we continue with the planning stages. Our community was very thankful for this opportunity and identified some enhancements that we wanted to partner on. We recognized that due to our local industries and the focus on trades, we wanted to increase the size of the practical applied arts area. We also recognized the focus of fitness and strong sports skills with our youth, and wanted to increase the size of the gymnasium and take some undeveloped space and turn it into a community fitness center. Each of these spaces provided students an amazing opportunities for both group and individual activities for health and education benefits. Through discussion and meeting with our local board and the central office, they too supported these important features and shared our passions for these enhancements. Our community feels that because of our local board rep Lois and the central office staff, they live here, they truly understood our unique needs, interests, and resources, and immediately agreed to these requests. Through additional planning, our committee set a goal and began our fundraising needs. In just over 2 years, we were able to raise almost $1.4 million to construct these enhancements. This is coming from a community of just under 1,500 people, and in a very short time. The success is due to the collaboration of many stakeholders. The local understanding of our needs was extremely important and was key in bringing in major donors like the Mosaic Company. We were able to propose a project and comply with their donations request when the local board approved the naming rights of them to the PA lab. Without the support of this local board and that central office, this company may not have been involved, and we wouldn't have been able to secure these funding dollars. The personal component also added to a project success. The committee had a direct connection with both Lois and central office. With very short notice, we were able to complete tasks on a very quick turnaround, and with a project like this, it was required. Whether it was a phone call or meeting, we always had the attention and devotion whoever we needed direction or consultation with. This provided a very close trust that the decisions above our requirement were being made with our best interest at heart and deep understanding of the community. It was clear people making these decisions knew us, they understood our community, and they understood our students' needs. As the timeline continued and the school physically began the construction phase and the excitement continued to build, with continuous discussion and meetings of our new school was becoming a reality. We began experiencing the last events of our aging facilities, and the summer of 2016 came filled with the activity of getting the new school, students, and our community ready. The true meaning of teamwork came together as this facility was prepped for its unveiling. An example of dedication and support our community received from the central office at Lois was one of our central office staff members actually began to sleep in the old school so he wouldn't lose time commuting back and forth, and was able to work later into the evening and up earlier in the morning. This is just one example of the amazing dedication to this project in our community, and we will forever be grateful for the work that was completed. The local board, Lois, the central office were the key component in this project's success. They really understood our community, and the larger governing body would not be able to provide that personal understanding. This project was a lifetime opportunity, and we were so appreciative to our local board, to Lois, the central office staff for recognizing our need and working so diligently to ensure its completion. These relationships are established, and we are confident in the people who are investing in our community.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm just going to add a little bit to it. She's pretty much covered everything, but I'll speak a little bit on coming from a town council side, the rapport and the communications we have with our local board, only being 45 miles down the road. When the school was announced, it was March 20th, 2013. I think everybody's idea there was, well, we'll be looking at it 5, 6, 7 years down the road. But with the dedication and passion that our local trustee Lois put into this, we made this a reality in 3.5 years. The doors were open last fall. And we are very, very grateful for the time and the effort that not only the board, but the staff have put in to making this a reality. It puts our community, extends the life of our community for 50 years, I'm sure it does. And they seen the needs. They were the local people. They are the ones that are at all our functions that we hold, our awards nights, our graduation. They are the ones that know our needs of our people and our students especially. So with that, I'm saying as far as a town council, our communication back and forth is second to none. We've had in the past a policy of maybe once or twice a year just phoning up Lois and say, Lois, delegate our council, we just want to know what's going on. You know what, within a meeting or two, there's somebody there to just have a talk with us, let us know what's going on. I don't see that happening coming out of a bigger center down the road. So with that, I'll just say, we as Langenburg are very proud of what the board has done for our community. It was truly a partnership. We've seen the need, they've seen the need, we made it happen. So I'll just end with, you know what, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep moving on. Third story in the hit parade is a conversation that we'll be having around PJ Gill and the Mosaic partnership that resulted there. Kelsey and our former board vice chair DJ, I want to pack that for you.
Okay, so PJ Gillen School is a K-5 elementary school within Good Spirit School Division, and we have roughly 270 students in the rural community of Esterhazy, Saskatchewan. So in 2012, September 2012, we were faced with quite a challenge. An air quality test had come back and revealed high levels of airborne contaminants, and it became necessary to seal off a portion of our school, and the in-ground ductwork was found to be the problem. So that was completely sealed off, and the heating system was abandoned in the school. So it was in one section of our school, but the whole entire heating system was abandoned. So we were left with no heating system within our school. So our school was then equipped with temporary electric heat, so large heaters hanging from the ceiling, so anyone taller than 5'5" was likely banging their heads on this, and I was one of them. So that was where we had our heat from. Rugs were removed from our school that may have contained any of the mold spores, so that was all removed. And any furniture that could not be cleaned was also thrown out. So, we had applied, GSSD had applied for annually for the capital funding and awaited ministry approval, and our school stayed in this state for 4 years. So we had electric heat for 4 years, we didn't have rugs or flooring in our library for that period of time. We remained kind of in that state for quite substantial. During this time, we found that the environment of our school was not conducive to a safe and positive learning environment due to the physical environmental challenges that we were facing. The electric heaters were very loud, very distracting for students. The heat was not consistent, which is an issue for us. Some rooms were too hot, some rooms were too cold to the point that our students were learning with mitts, toques, and jackets during those cold months of the winter. And then we also found that illness in our school was quite high. There was no air ventilation in our school at all, so we were told to open windows in our school to have air flow through, but during cold months or during some windows didn't open because our windows weren't exactly the newest either. So some of our building or some of our rooms were quite restricted in terms of air ventilation. Our library also remained with concrete floors and glue residue for those 4 years as well. So it wasn't exactly the best learning environment. So at that time, DJ Cairns, who was our board representative during this, she worked very closely with our school, our admin team, our school SCC, and our community members to bring the environmental concerns of our school and student safety to the forefront. DJ spent many hours attending our school-based meetings to hear the concerns of staff, parents. She attended SCC meetings that were held to discuss and develop a course of action, and she listened to our staff. So our staff, she was able to give them the ear that they needed, and she provided that for them. Our parents and community members whose children and grandchildren attended our school also, DJ was able to give them the ear that they so well deserved. She was very persistent in sharing the stories of our staff members and students with prevalent community members who were able to take our concerns to the largest employer in our community, which was Mosaic. So Mosaic listened to our concerns. Many of their children attended our schools or their grandchildren attended our schools, and they agreed that the severity of the need to ensure that our students receive the best possible education. We are fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with Mosaic, who's very family oriented and forward-thinking, and they supported PJ Gillen financially in the total of $300,000. PJ Gillen then received funding from the ministry as well as Good Spirit School Division to help ensure the proper renovations were supported, including a new heating and ventilation system or an HVAC system, along with the proper renovations to create a positive learning environment for our students. So we had our grand opening last year, so everything has been replaced, including new windows, new heating, renovations to our paint. The environment has completely changed in our school. It's like a new school for us, really, when we walk into that building. So we thank you for hearing our story today. Without DJ's help, I don't think our story would have reached the magnitude that it did, and we definitely got the assistance that we needed to make it successful.
Thanks, Kelsey. DJ?
Yeah, so I'll just add to what Kelsey has already said. First of all, thank you for having us in and listening to us today. From my perspective, now that I'm retired from the board, I had to really dig deep because it seems like a long time ago that this all happened. But I think, looking back and reflecting on the meetings that I attended, Esther Hazy is an industrious town. The people that live there, they're go-getters. The majority of the people either work for or are married to somebody that work for Mosaic or self-employed. So this is what needs to happen, let's do it, let's get it done. So a big hurdle that I noticed was the red tape factor. They weren't used to the slow process and whatever, so there was a high level of frustration among the community and the parents, grandparents, etc. So I felt like I was able to bring reason to the conversation, like you guys we need to just tone this down, let's be reasonable, let's think about this, there's a process, and the process isn't necessarily what you're used to dealing with in your daily life. So I was able to, or I feel like I was able to diffuse that, you know, the hot public meetings and whatever. And in one instance, there was definitely a public attack on our facilities manager, and I think I was able to kind of calm those waters and start to build a little bit of a bridge or a bit of trust there that wasn't there before, you know. So we had in this corner parents and community members that felt like, you know, these people, how did the school get like this? It's not safe, the kids are sick, the staff is sick, you know, how can you trust these people? And I was able to say, look, I have 3 sons, they attend in this community, I live, work, and play in this area, I trust these people, I have a relationship with these people, if I can trust them, can you trust them a little bit on my behalf? And they were able to kind of see that, and then the waters kind of smoothed a little bit, and it made it easier to get Mosaic and GSSD and everybody kind of working on the correct path. And I guess maybe I didn't realize that I had that much communication with the board members at the table, but I guess, you know, looking back and kind of reminiscing with Kelsey that, you know, I did quite a bit of that back and forth and keeping, you know, this person, this is what they said, and I think this, maybe you're interpreting it wrong, or it was at the meeting, it was felt this way, this is what was meant by that, not just a sentence on a piece of paper.
Thanks, DJ.
You're welcome.
We're going to keep on going, and my friend to my left is going to speak to you a little bit about a local program, the Churchbridge Millwright program, and some of the work that was done locally to make that a reality.
Churchbridge area is a hub of Saskatchewan industry. Local potash mines and manufacturing industries in the area lends itself to educational discussions around providing high school students opportunities in the trades. As a school division trustee, I am also a member of the school community council, and I am happy to be able to advance their unique causes. 8 years ago, 2 members of Churchbridge Public School Community Council, one who was a retired millwright and one who is now a current MLA, brought an idea to the table. They wanted to establish an innovative, pure practical and applied arts program at Churchbridge Public School, an industrial millwright mechanics level 10, 20, and 30. Despite having no curriculum, no instructor, or even a facility, these SCC members had a passionate vision, and despite the obstacles, were determined to make this dream a reality. I became very involved in the project and helped the group navigate the procedures and protocols in order to make the dream a reality. And this is what our journey looked like. The first step was to guide the team in preparing and presenting a proposal to the Good Spirit School Division Board. And I was able to advocate on their behalf, and they received the go-ahead to proceed. I helped to navigate the process that resulted in the group securing a loan from the board to start making the millwright program a reality. And all the components of this project took a great deal of work to piece together. The team sought sponsorships from industrial partners in the area, secured and renovated a nearby facility, and purchased the required tools and equipment. Curricula was written and rewritten many times to ensure approval by the Ministry of Education. And we had hoped to have the program ready for the start of the year 2012-13 school year, but needed to delay to the second semester in order for it to have the facility ready for students. As the target date neared, the group had a huge setback. The students were registered, the space and the equipment were on track to be ready, but we didn't have a permanent instructor. I attended an emergency SCC meeting on Sunday before the new semester was to begin. Our director at the time attended via speakerphone to help the group decide if there were any way the course could proceed. After a nerve-wracking conversation, the group decided to start the program using a temporary instructor. We were determined to be able to fill the instructor position, and failure was never considered to be an option. After chasing many leads and holding numerous conversations, the team was able to secure a permanent instructor. The Millwright 10, 20, and 30 courses continue to run in Churchbridge. And now we have extended the opportunity to the students in our neighboring communities of Blanchardburg and Estes. Despite the hard work and setbacks, I am very proud to have had the opportunity as a trustee to connect with our communities, to listen and respond to their needs in order to provide valuable and authentic opportunities to the student in our school division. It is still very exciting for this program to keep going, and anyone who has ever taught grade 10, 11, 12 would understand the excitement for the students. And we do have quite a few girls taking the classes now, but just to see the excitement on the students' faces is just